Hello, Internet. Welcome to another episode of Renegades React. Today, we're going to be doing another episode of...
Oh, right. Sorry, I'm a little rusty at this.
That's right.
It comes back pretty easy, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
All right.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike. So, Gandalf versus Dumbledore. Two wizards played by awesome actors in their own right. Ian McKellen playing Gandalf, and that's my Gandalf. I know, the Ralph Bakshi animated Lord of the Rings film. I'm sorry, that didn't make that much of an impression on me. But yeah, Ian McKellen, he's kind of the quintessential Gandalf. Anytime someone mentions Gandalf, it's just going to be like, oh,
I mean, that's
Ian
who
McKellen.
you think of, yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, Dumbledore, the sage-esque Grandmaster Wizard of Hogwarts, and played by two actors, Richard Harris in the first two films, and then later on by Michael Gambon after Richard Harris's unfortunate passing. And two big, awesomely bearded wizards.
And who really didn't do all that much if you think about it.
Gandalf did a fair amount in the
They don't
movies.
do all that much magic.
Yeah, he did. He did more magic in the Hobbit movies than he did.
Yes.
Yeah,
He didn't do he made his staff light up in Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
there was one part they cut out of the final cut of Lord of the Rings, the Return of the King, that made me mad. Was Sauron's resolution of Sauron? You know, where it's like, Sauron, your staff is broken, and then his staff like shatters.
Yeah.
And then Grima Wormtongue stabs him in the back, and Saruman falls down and gets impaled on the turnstile wheel. And I mean, that scene right there was awesome. I don't know why they cut it. I mean, it to me it showed like Gandalf's back at full strength, and he is the true White Wizard. And yeah, I was gonna say, matching these two up, which one is more memorable to me? I gotta say Gandalf. That's me though, because you see, Gandalf I felt was more centrifugal to the story, because who was the one came riding in at Helm's Deep in the movie? Who was the one who led the warriors at Minas Tirith during the siege and the Battle of Pelennor Fields?
Who's the one who just kept calling in the eagles? Hey, those eagles came in handy.
Could you imagine if we walked there? Oh, God, that'd have been horrible.
Oh. Good thing we had these eagles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know that. That's one of the dumbest. People are going to be talking about that until the cows come home, or until the eagles come home. So, what do you say we get this rap battle started?
Let's do it.
let's
Gandalf! Was it? Dumbledore! Begin! You shall not pass! I brought fires like shadow fast! Come riddle me this, you bitch! How's your little wand gonna beat my staff? I'll leave mites in flames! Punch my hand off! Touch mine, Dumbledore, and scorch your other hand off! You fool! You got snaked! You're not a real fighter! Death makes you die, it just makes my bright brighter! Your ass is like Gringotts, everyone makes a deposit! We all know you've more than a boggart in your closet!
The prophecy forgot to mention this day when I knocked your ass back to Gandalf the Great! Check your status, they call me headmaster, you're nothing! Nice stab! You compensating for something? I prefer the company of wizards and I'm proud of it! You try to win your battles with two fat hobbits! You think your hairy-toed friends are gonna harm me? Wait till they get a taste of Dumbledore's army!
Do not take me for some conjurer of cheap tricks! I don't give a fuck about your Order of Phoenix! I'll tie a new knot in your beard with your wrinkly balls, for I am the one rapper to rule them all!
Your spells are a joke, not funny ones either. Mine's a Moria? Ha! More like mind 'em and see 'em. I'll expecto my patronum on your face, you little snitch. And when I'm finished, I'll fly like it's Quidditch.
Who won? Who's there? You the all!
Okay. That was harder to call than I thought it would
Yeah.
be.
They didn't seem as good to me.
Well,
Like they
Well, I
just
mean,
kinda
to be
seemed
fair,
as-
that's what? That's the 11th rap
episode,
battle?
yeah.
I think. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Like Dumbledore knocked him back to Gandalf the Grey.
Knocked him back to Gandalf the Grey, yeah.
Even though Gandalf the Grey is kind of like everybody's favorite. Cause
Yeah. Why do you say to something like that?
Based solely on the rap battle, it's a really tough call.
It is, because both of them had really good runs. I think Gandalf had the better. I think Gandalf had a better first half of his first verse, and it tapered off a little bit later. But I'd say in terms of consistency, I'd say probably Dumbledore
was
had
more consistent.
Yeah.
Dumbledore was a little more consistent.
I think that's true.
But it all depends on the hit, which had the hardest hit with it. And I mean, calling out Dumbledore because he's gay, that's one thing. I mean, that was kind of left. That was left up to. I mean, they never explored that in the movie. And
Yeah. I mean, they touched on it some in the books, but they didn't. They didn't make any sort of big deal.
Yeah. I mean, I heard a lot of people say that their wizarding elderly power couple was him and McGonagall, and I was like, I don't see that. I mean, I didn't know if he was like a lifelong bachelor, or if he lost his love a long time ago and just dedicated himself to being a wizarding mentor. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll explore that in a future movie, like they'll tell Dumbledore's story. I mean,
but I don't know. It's a tough call.
It is.
It's a tough call.
Absolutely. I can't decide. I really can't. I'm torn.
Yeah, consistency wise, I mean, Dumbledore was pretty consistent the whole way through.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if he packed the most punch.
That's where I'm torn.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going with Gandalf.
You're going with Gandalf?
Just he seemed to have more of like the book material, I guess.
More the snappy,
like
snappy
the whole
one-liners.
I'm no conjurer of cheap tricks.
That's true.
You shall not pass. More.
I mean, it's sort of interesting that they opened with Gandalf's theoretically most memorable line.
Yeah.
I mean that
they probably should have
felt,
opened the second verse with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say he could say I would say they should have opened with "Fly, you fools," because these
that would have been good.
Yes, "Fly, you fools."
And I mean, you could have done a lot with "You shall not pass," considering that Dumbledore's a teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it comes to this grade, you shall not pass.
Yeah. I mean, you had options.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
the writing has definitely improved since this.
Yeah, over time. Over time, they've learned their craft even better, and that's one thing about it. Self-improvement. That's just like a self-improvement cycle. Like I've heard people do that with their endeavors and everything, and I try and do that with us.
Yeah,
and it's benefited us greatly because self-improvement cycles. You go from there and you see what would benefit us better and what works better, what makes the wheels spin faster. And I'm torn. I can't decide. I'm calling.
Right.
I'm calling it undecided for me. So Caleb calls it for
Gandalf.
Gandalf.
You know what? I think I also got to go Gandalf.
Okay. So these two could decide. I mean, I couldn't. I mean, that's how torn I am about it.
I mean, it was not an easy call.
No, not at all. Didn't mean to make a rhyme there.
Nah.
Sorry about that.
I'd like to. I don't know if they'll ever do this, but I'd sort of like to see them revisit these rap battles now.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
Well, I could see. Well, I'd like to see like a reboot or a retooling of this.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to see. I'd sort of like to see them, take that matchup and do it with the skills and the writing that they have now.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it could go a completely different way.
Of course,
it could be a way more decisive battle.
Yeah, and plus you'd have more layered jokes that because the whole unit. You call yourself a teacher? Well, with this kind of math, with that kind of magic, you shall not pass.
Yeah, I mean, or
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
But-
So,
Two votes Gandalf, 1 vote undecided.
yeah.
Gandalf wins.
So, yeah, by majority decision.
Rule.
Yep. So, that's democracy for you, ladies and gentlemen. That's a lesson. So, what did you all think? Who did you all think won? I mean, let us know in the comments down below. You may agree with me and say it's undecided. You may say Dumbledore. You may say Gandalf.
Yeah.
And that's your opinion to have, and you should hold on to that. So, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Renegades React. We hope you all have enjoyed what you've seen here. I mean, this is epic rap battles of history, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we always have fun with these.
Oh, yeah.
And even though we're going to run out of these here pretty soon,
They're going to make
they're
more.
going to keep making more. And you all can stay tuned in for those as well. So,
I mean, eventually, we're going to have to start reacting to these in real time,
yeah. Well,
which is
I'd like to-
terrifying if you think about
you know,
it.
I'd like to do live stream reacting lives. And I'm
be
trying to get
interesting.
I'm trying to get that figured out. Get the timing because it's either too far ahead, the video's too far ahead, or too far behind, and we'll figure that out later. But for right now, guys, that's gonna do it for this episode of Renegades React. Leave a comment down below. Leave us a like. Check out the description for our various other endeavors, and don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you later, Internet. Peace out.